Syrian Arab Army continues to fight terrorists, killing many of them and destroying their hideouts. In Iraq, ISIS terrorists flee 6 areas in Diyala city under the heavy blows of the Iraqi army. Crac de Chevalier receives the first group of tourists as security is restored. Good afternoon. Syrian Arab Army units continue their national task of fighting terrorism in different parts of the country. A military source said that several terrorist gatherings were eliminated in Idlib countryside. Syrian Arab Army units also targeted the terrorist gatherings in several villages in Hama, killing many of them and injuring others. Syrian Arab Army units also destroyed a 23 caliber mortar gun as well as 3 vehicles, killing all terrorists inside. In Aleppo and its countryside, the Syrian Arab Army targeted the terrorist gatherings, killing many of them and injuring others in many areas. In Daraa countryside, Syrian Arab Army units foiled an infiltration attempt by terrorists who tried to sneak into Atman town, killing all members of the terrorist group. Syrian Arab Army units also arrested the terrorist Muhammad Nadir al-Saf near the Syrian-Jordanian border. In Quneitra countryside, Syrian Arab Army units killed many terrorists in al-Hamidiyya village and destroyed a vehicle equipped with a heavy machine gun, killing all terrorists inside in the town of Western al-Samadaniya. The people of Ain al-Arab in Aleppo countryside achieved progress in fighting ISIS. Residents of the city, in cooperation with the People's Defense Units, kicked out ISIS terrorists from several areas and inflicted heavy casualties among them, amidst reports on a breakdown in the ranks of ISIS, who receives daily blows at the hands of the People's Defense Units. Sources from inside Ain al-Arab city said that during the past few days, people of Ain al-Arab were able to purge some neighborhoods of terrorists. The German capital Berlin witnessed huge demonstrations by thousands who took to the streets in support of the Syrian city of Ain al-Arab, where terrorists from ISIS committed several crimes. The demonstrators held placards reading "Berlin is Ain al-Arab, stop ISIS and save the people's lives," calling for consolidation with the resistance in Ain al-Arab against the terrorism of ISIS. In Argentina, a demonstration was held in Buenos Aires protesting the heinous crimes committed by ISIS terrorists in Syria and Ain al-Arab. The demonstrators held placards encouraging the steadfastness of the people in Ain al-Arab who are fighting fierce battles and defending their city against ISIS terrorists. Moving to Iraq, local sources stress that ISIS fled 6 areas inside Diyala city without any fights, which indicates its weakness after the qualitative strikes made by the Iraqi forces. Meanwhile, ISIS Mufti and what is called the official in charge of the Sharia court in Mosul, Osama Abdul Wahab al-Ta'i, have been killed. On the other hand, Diyala governor demanded the international organizations of human rights to shed light over the heinous violations committed by ISIS against thousands of families in the governorate, stressing on the necessity of clarifying the details of the organization's crimes and giving a clear vision about extremism. Following the reports that have been released lately, which indicate that Bulgarians have joined ISIS, among them teenagers, the Bulgarian Minister of Defense has called on the Security Council of the Bulgarian cabinet to convene to discuss this most urgent issue. and its direct consequences on Bulgaria's national security. The American Wall Street Journal has said that 25% of the Dutch terrorists, estimated at 140, have been recruited in The Hague, and that they have joined ISIS. The Austrian Courier Mail newspaper has disclosed that there are about 2,000 Austrians who strongly back ISIS and its heinous practices, pointing out that the fierce media campaign has played a crucial role in washing the brains of the teenagers and minors in the Austrian schools. Lebanese army units continued their security measures in several neighborhoods of Tripoli and Akkar, north of Lebanon, and carried out raids in the vicinity of Badawi refugee camp, searching for wanted terrorists. A military source said that Lebanese army units conducted other raids and search operations in several other areas, as well as carrying out patrols, erecting temporary checkpoints, and watching posts in the area, with the aim of arresting suspects involved in the recent attacks on the Lebanese army. Crac de Chevalier has witnessed the arrival of the first touristic group, comprising Syrian expatriates, touristic activities, and members of Syria's French society, after security has been restored to the famous touristic site.
The message that this tourist has sought to convey to the Western governments is that they should be fully aware of what is going on in Syria, that many touristic sites in Syria have been destroyed by the terrorists, and that other sites are in jeopardy.
I have been living with my husband in Britain and I work as a touristic guide. It is well known that Syria enjoys a deep-rooted history and a great civilization manifested in its touristic sites and outstanding monuments. That is why we have decided to come back to Syria for good.
The aim of our tour is to encourage the Syrians living in Syria, the Syrian expatriates, and the foreigners living in Syria to go and see these breathtaking touristic sites, on the top of which Crac de Chevalier, after security has been restored to it. We as Syrians have the duty to rebuild what has been destroyed at the hands of the terrorists, and to tell the whole world that the Syrians love life and that they strongly stand by against the culture of terrorism.
With this, we conclude our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region, and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Sirina, but after a short break.